When a woman walks away, everyone around you rushes to tell you it's finished, that she's happier now, that she's already replaced you, and that you should accept it and move on. But what most people fail to understand is that separation doesn't end a story immediately. It stretches it across time in ways that only silence can reveal. In the beginning, she feels empowered by the decision, surrounded by attention, messages, and fresh faces that validate her choice and convince her she escaped something limiting, something predictable, something she labeled as boring simply because it was calm. That early phase feels intoxicating because novelty always disguises itself as improvement, and chaos often feels exciting when peace has been misunderstood. But novelty has an expiration date, and once the excitement wears thin, reality begins to surface in subtle ways. Conversations start feeling repetitive, attention loses its spark, and the emotional highs flatten out, leaving her alone with her thoughts in moments she didn't anticipate. That's when your absence slowly begins to register, not loudly or dramatically, but quietly, in the spaces where distraction no longer works. What unsettles her isn't that you reached out or tried to pull her back, it's that you didn't. You didn't beg, you didn't argue, you didn't attempt to rewrite history or remind her of your value. And that lack of reaction contradicts everything she expected. Instead of collapsing, you redirected your energy inward, focusing on your work, your body, your discipline, and your purpose. And that shift creates a psychological tension she can't easily resolve. A man who disappears into self-respect becomes unpredictable. And unpredictability is far more unsettling than confrontation because it removes control. She can no longer read your emotions, track your intentions, or feel certain of her impact on you. And that uncertainty slowly replaces her confidence with curiosity. She starts checking quietly, not because she wants to reconnect immediately, but because she needs reassurance that the door is still open, that she still matters, that her absence didn't make you stronger. Memories resurface unexpectedly. Old photos, familiar places, moments she once overlooked now feel heavier because distance has changed their meaning. She begins comparing what she has now with what she once had, and the contrast becomes impossible to ignore. The men around her may be exciting or charming, but they lack the depth, steadiness, and grounded presence you carried naturally. The kind of presence that didn't need constant performance to feel real. What she once interpreted as emotional safety now reveals itself as rare, and what she dismissed as predictability now feels like stability she can't easily find again. Her return, when it happens, isn't fueled by love or sudden clarity, but by ego, nostalgia, and the discomfort of realizing she may have misjudged something valuable. She expected you to remain emotionally accessible, to wait, to hope, to keep a quiet attachment alive, and discovering that you didn't shakes her internal narrative. The version of you she left behind no longer exists, and that realization is deeply unsettling because it forces her to confront the possibility that she didn't just walk away from a relationship. She walked away from a man who evolved in her absence. She doesn't miss the relationship itself as much as she misses how she felt within it, grounded, secure, chosen, and emotionally steady. And that feeling becomes more vivid when life around her feels fragmented. When she senses that you've emotionally moved on, not out of bitterness, but out of peace, the power dynamic shifts entirely. You no longer seek validation, no longer react impulsively, no longer need her attention to feel complete, and that emotional independence creates a distance she can't cross easily. She may reach out casually, frame it as concern or curiosity, hoping to re-establish connection without addressing the damage. But your calm detachment communicates more than words ever could. Peace becomes the boundary she didn't expect, and boundaries reveal growth that can't be negotiated. Over time, she realizes that what she truly lost wasn't just a man, but the version of herself that felt stable in your presence, and that loss lingers longer than attraction ever could. In the end, the real victory isn't that she returns or regrets her decision. It's that you no longer define your worth by her recognition, because the man who rebuilt himself through silence, discipline, and self-respect outgrew the need for external validation. And that transformation is irreversible. You didn't improve to prove a point or to win her back. You evolved to reclaim yourself. And while she may carry the weight of that realization quietly, you continue forward unburdened, knowing that true strength was never about who stayed, but about who you became when they left.